Hello and welcome, brave souls. I am your GM in the Great Barrier, and we are back for some Star Trek Adventures Aegis. We are back for tonight's episode, Star Trek Adventures Aegis by Guile or by Might, Part 4. So, before we get started, just a couple things to note for future programming on the channel. Star Trek Adventures Broken Sword, our companion show on Tuesdays at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time on Twitch, as well as in its archived format. That will be continuing its 6th episode of the season. Whenever that adventure finishes, we will probably be taking a week off, just so that the players and I can chat, and I see you there, Joe, the Overland Gamer. But while we're busy making Joe's life more difficult as he increases the difficulty right at the start for us, I'll be sure to note that in a moment. After our little week off, we will be holding a mid-season Q&A session for Star Trek Adventures Broken Sword. So that will go on the calendar, that'll be on the social medias, and it will be mentioned as we approach it for those of you that want to join us to ask questions for that when they come up. You can send things to us on various social medias. You can contact me via the Discord, and we can I will happily take questions there. Either way, it's been quite an interesting start to the season. Also, hello, our friends at the Architects of Fate. Thank you all for joining us this morning here. We're getting a late start, but we're on that. Of course, remember the shout-out command. The Architects of Fate, always a fun bunch to see for their Cookie Trek show, which I'll give them a shout-out here. Among many other tabletop adventures they've got. So, let's just get straight into the recap from here, and then we'll get underway. So, when last we left off, the Aegis has been dealing with a very difficult approach to see to reach out and encounter their allies in the landing party. You had flown into an asteroid field, a very dense one with a radioactive anomaly and some resources, particularly some critical ores, which on one hand would be very useful for the construction for repairs, things that would help your ship continue to function. Unfortunately, it turned out to be a pirate's den. You were ambushed by Nausicaans, and though you have beaten back most of the first wave, more seem to be on the way, and you have taken quite a few hits. All this while cut off from the shuttle bay. You were aided at the last moment by another raider that foiled an additional ambush by flying itself into another pod and detonating its warp core. An escape pod launched from that. Little did you know that a Suliban gentleman by the name of Remora and some of his crew made a split decision to betray the Nausicaans and try to incapacitate them with the escape pod bound towards you. With both sides having traded quite a few blows at this point, Captain, you made an effort to negotiate with the head of this Nausicaan pirate base, a rather regal looking famous here, or regal at least for Nausicaans, a one-eyed, heavily armored, and slightly more protocol-driven Nausicaan, at least so far as his willingness to adhere to certain Orion customs. He indeed has, as you tried to basically spur his fellow Nausicaans to doubt him and maybe create an opening where you could turn the pirates against him, create some sort of mess. He invoked basically a Nausicaan ritual that would instill a truce and force both sides to negotiate for return of hostages. Um, During this time, no further offense can be carried out without risking the ire of a neutral mediator, or supposedly neutral mediator, that is being called here. Given what you know of the Nausicaans, and particularly of one of the standards that they carry, it is much less likely that this person will turn out to be neutral, at least in so far as you are concerned, Sharp. So, you are still separated from the landing party. Further moves may create risk to them and yourself. The ship, although still holding up, is pretty, or has taken some damage, so continuing the firefight would be very difficult, even on its own merits. Uh, this leaves you in a position where you are trying to work out what to do, and you have also just brought aboard an escape pod. So let us take our screen to the bridge, where, as the recap concludes and Famous finishes whatever bit he is, you know, as Famous winks off the screen and you find yourselves in the field, the escape pod being brought aboard at this point. We just rejoined the bridge crew here. At this point, Crichton says, "Sir, the shuttle pod has retrieved the vessel." Likewise, from Science Station, Steward says, "The captain, the other Nausicaan vessels are continuing an approach, but they are, well, the ones that were coming to reinforce the Nausicaans here, but the ships that are immediately nearby and still able to fight, it looks like they're not making a move towards us. So they might be abiding by that ceasefire they just called."
Okay. Understood. She just kind of rubs the bridge of her nose a little bit.
As this happens, and I'll say, Brian, I think I sent these to you in Discord last week. Damage reports should be rolling along your screen here. I'm going to double.
I am back. Sorry, I had to step away.
Okay, yeah.
Did you call me?
So I was just saying, as the captain is like rubbing her face and trying to recollect herself, the notes I sent you in Discord, you have basically the. I'll make this easier for you. I'll throw the items in italics that would be like the for role play purposes.
Okay, and I'm so sorry. You did send me a message, and I've literally been so busy I have not had a chance to read it.
That's quite all right. So the bits in italics are basically what you could read for roleplay purposes, just to make things easier on you.
We've got minor damage to sensors with faults developing some of the primary sensor processors. Systems redundancies can bypass that for now. We have fires in the primary hull, ma'am. The damage control and suppression are responding. I had teams in place already. Turbo lips are inoperable below 6 and are going to require teams. That is where we are at, ma'am.
All right, Crichton, start working on getting into their communications. I want to hear everything they're talking to each other and back to Famous himself. Let's start batting down fixing all the small problems here and there where we can, taking out fires and dealing with the small repairs where that we can make do very quickly. Steward, Romanov, I want sensors back up as soon as possible, but leave them at passive for the moment.
Got it.
Should I go and greet our guests,
I'm about to join you. Alvarez. Alvarez? Yeah, out of character. That was me going Alvarez, right? Right name? She would know the name. So usually, Mr. Alvarez, can you send a Mako team and down with us to make sure our new guests don't get any odd ideas?
Sure, Captain.
I'll be sure to send along the note here while I'm getting into damage reports. They have dropped some of the jamming efforts, so I may also be able to get a hold of the shuttle pod, Captain. It'll take some time to get through some of the other anomalous interference.
All right. For the moment, I want the pirate communications first, then our shuttle crew. I want an idea of how to get out of here before getting communications. I want some solutions before communicating with our other team.
Hey, Captain. I guess question, sir. When I send the Mako team instructions, are we taking the occupants of the escape pod to... where should I have them direct the team? Sick bay? The brig? A conference room? I don't know the mood that we're... what we want to do there. Asking for a GM.
Send him to the medical bay with honors, she says, with that tone of like, make sure they're security enforced.
Hey, Captain.
She just looks over to Horn. Ready for a bit of exercise?
Well, it should be interesting at least.
All right.
She'll say, Romnov, you have the con?
Got it, ma'am. I'll go sit at the con.
Okay.
I'll have my data pad, and I'm going to send out those orders to the repair teams.
Yep. So, let's see. First and foremost, I'm going to note a little bit of business as the bridge officers scatter. The first will be that for viewers that are joining us live, well, rather, for all of... I'm going to note some business right at the top here. Viewers that were joining us live for today's session have spent some quatloos to affect the outcome of the game, as is something they can do. The first one I am going to go ahead and announce specifically that one of our chat members has bought an has imposed a complication, basically buying a narrative disadvantage. To this, I'm going to say that the Nausicaans have managed to secure their comms with Famous thinking that this captain might just be wily enough to try something, so they have, relying on some newer techniques that they might have come across and that might be just a little outside of the tips and tricks you might have given Crichton before, along with his own training. I'm going to say that will go nowhere, unfortunately.
Okay.
As for another Quatloo spend, there has been an increase in difficulty. That won't come into play until we attempt a task this session, and I'm going to say now I'll apply it to a task that isn't a social task here, because it's a weird thing to apply it to. I may as well just give them an extra die, and even then that's not guaranteed. So whenever that task comes up, we'll have something to we'll deal with that then. I will say, as far as tasks that do need to be done on the ship, for above board notes from the last session, the ship had taken some breaches. 2 breaches have been suffered to the ship's structure, which means it is now technically damaged, and that will require a task to repair it. The sensors have suffered 1 breach, which meant they were temporarily impacted, but you were able to restore the system without any lasting problem to it.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
All right. Then I would have assigned just to start working on a hole repair,
yeah. So we'll
patching up holes.
we'll tend to sealing the breaches in just a bit. I'll let the scene play out here. So I suppose I should ask, Sharp, Horn, do you want a bit of a scene with yourselves, something very quickly before you meet the rest, or would you prefer to just go ahead and have a chance to speak with the others?
Not sure. Do we have anything particular to talk about before we speak with them?
I got my exhausted self has no idea. That I can think of.
Yeah, me neither. Might be afterwards. Might be more interesting.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, we can give you guys like a few minutes to think about that. We can check in with the shuttle pod crew who didn't have as much to do with their given that so much of last session was focused on combat, or the ship's combat in particular. So would you guys in the shuttle pod be okay for a scene?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So we'll come back. We are in the shuttle pod cavern. I'm gonna go ahead and do away with some of these corpses here.
Yeah, they're pieces now anyway.
Yeah, the Nausicaans that came in with spacesuits are more just an ambience of the cavern. The inside the shuttle pod, it is there's not much of them concentrated in the area. The most that you can really make out are bits of cavern, some rock that was also churned up by the blasts. As it's hard to distinguish that from some of the segments of the Nausicaans. More of what you get at this point would be the entities that are in the cavern with you. The Cosmozoan, who produce an iridescent cyan glow as they move through, or as they float through the cavern without any seeming means of propulsion that you are aware of. Let's see. Shira, it has... let's see. Shira, Xantar, as the two main player characters in this situation. It has been a little bit since you've heard from the ship. It has been a while since the Nausicaans made any attempt with the ambient interference. You are kind of a little bit blind right now. But yeah, it's been a hurry up and wait situation, essentially, for the time being. Or up to this point.
How long roughly have we been in the cabin now?
I'd say that from the time that you first arrived to the, you've probably been out on the mission at this point for a little over an hour. You had probably left at about, like... Actually, I think I'll put it a little closer to 2 hours for total, like, transit time, because you had... you arrived here, you were able to take your time to set up the equipment, then with the discoveries that you made, you probably got out close to 45 minutes ago. The shuttle... the battle from the shuttle pod against the Nausicaans who tried to walk into the cavern. That was probably that battle happened quickly, but the setup for that was itself several minutes. So you've now you probably heard back from Aegis another half hour ago, and that as a signal that they were about to make the attempted transit. So at this point they could. Obviously the combat played out mechanically played out for most of last session, but the actual time that would have elapsed, it would have... I think that you'd still expect that Aegis might have been able to make contact by now, although they could just as easily still be, like, dealing with difficulties in the corridor.
Okay. I'm going to just quickly look around and just see how the rest of the away team is currently faring.
Xantar, would you like to go first? How are you dealing with your time in the shuttle pod in the EV suit?
Oh, just dandy. I think mostly he's just keeping an eye on the environment. Occasionally he will just, you see him just take the gloves off, do a spray in his hand, do a spray in his glove, and put them back on again with his sort of sanitizing hyper spray. As well as like sanitizing the phaser pistol that he's got in his hand, just checking it. He looks around to Shira if he sees him. Says, so, is this common on away missions with the humans?
No, we generally haven't run into very many pirates on away missions, especially where it involves geological excavations.
Ah.
So the Cosmozoa's a new one as well.
Well, the humans did say they were here for exploration. I suppose if you explore a bit too far, you end up finding something that's trying to kill you.
Yes.
Still.
And,
Carry on.
well, and I don't like sitting here and waiting for them just to try again. So I think it's time we come up with a solution to get ourselves out of here.
I'm afraid I'm not a soldier. I know how to work a phaser pistol, but that's about it, sir.
Well,
do you have any suggestions?
I've got one idea, and if it works, we won't have to shoot a single weapon.
I like the sound of it.
Melnyk,
Melnyuk switches back her audio on as she sees you gesturing to her. What is it, Commander?
those space squids there, she'll point out to the Cosmozoa floating by the window. They're emitting some kind of interference field which is messing up our targeting sensors. What are the chances we can replicate that in some way for the shuttle?
Since her... Excuse me. Her face is illuminated from inside the suit with the kind of blue-white light, so that you get a clear look at her furrowing her eyebrows. Well, we barely understand these things to start with, so I don't know exactly... I can't quite explain the process by which they're doing it. Mimicking it... some very big maybe. Of course,
I like maybe is good.
That maybe is a short version to say it to excuse the fact that it's complicated. It would take time and probably some adjustments that I don't know that we could necessarily make.
Well, that's okay, because we've got two excellent engineers here in Leighton and Fernier, who I'm sure can advise whether it's possible to make the adaptations to the shuttle.
Well, I'll say for my part, here, Commander, that we might be able to do a little bit, but honestly, I don't know that without specialized emitter or something of the sort, that whether we wouldn't create we might make it a little more difficult to hit us, but if they can work through that interference, then that also might that might only make they might be able to flip it around and make it easier by like catching a radioactive signature.
And a lot of power. Engines not hold very well too long.
Now, we can definitely give it a try if you can figure out if you can figure out exactly what those things are doing. Maybe we can find a more efficient way of working that out. Just care to take a little scan here, Melnook, get it figured out. Well, this is one of the other reasons that I wanted to be on the ship. The ship has better sensors, and it makes these sort of tasks easier, but here we go.
It's not like you're doing anything here.
Melnyuk is going to step forward, and I'm just going to say, in a quote-unquote inadvertently elbowing Leighton a little bit as she passes by, and tries to make some inputs into the sensors. So if one of you would like to roll for the shuttle pod, I will have her make a reason plus science roll with a difficulty of I'm going to call this 4 here to have a really good sense of what it is. This is going to be very difficult with the equipment that you have, but she'll make
Please spend that 1 momentum on an extra. Jesus Christ. Okay, 4.
I think she's
5.
fine.
Okay, you're good. No,
Yeah.
don't worry about spending the extra momentum. That's pretty
Yeah, we'll
fine.
keep
Wow.
that. It's good.
Yep, Melnyuk is still a very good science officer. So you will, she will make all 4 successes. The shuttle pod will even help a bit. This is interesting here. I have to say, I haven't. Well, there've been very sparse reports of Cosmozoa here. I don't know that we could mimic this, but honestly, the field that they produce is so perfect. It's such a perfect natural process. It'd be difficult to replicate in a very sound manner. We might be able to do. I suppose perhaps if we adjust hull polarization slightly, if we modulate it in a certain way, we might be able to bounce off some of that, but the impulse engines might still create enough energy to throw us off there. I feel like Leighton is right about one thing. The power requirements on the engines for the shuttle pod to try and do something like this on its own might be a little bit excessive.
Okay. Justice. If we had 1 burst from the impulse engines and then cut them, can you maneuver us through the asteroid field using only thrusters? So we have all the momentum from an impulse burst, but after that it's thrusters only.
Give it a try here, though I wonder if that rigging it up that way might also make navigational senses a little difficult. Mark 1 eyeballs just a little bit, I might be able to keep a clear eye on it, but it could be just a tad difficult keeping up with the thing.
Why not?
He looks forward, as he looks forward, he's like, probably need to clean a little bit of this Noskin off the screen.
We'll clean the windows.
Yep. The moment you say that, a tentacle flashes across the screen and starts rubbing along the dome. Ugh.
Yes.
Well,
why
not?
Being friendly, hopefully.
An idea. Why not attract the squids and have them cling to us like they do with the sharks at home.
Remorage.
That might be interesting, actually.
What are
That'd also take a lot of specific work in order to figure out. Very particularly, there'd be a range of factors we'd have to consider there. Hull polarization.
Before here.
Well, I'm not saying that you're wrong, Leighton. I'm saying that if we try that, it'll take some time to figure out. Remoras, they've grown up over millions of years, acclimating to a particular sort of ecosystem and a particular relationship with a larger creature. In order to convince these things to do that, I feel like I'd need a little more time to analyze things to even develop a reasonable guess. 'Cause there's all sorts of things that our ship does with, like EM radiation we put out, ion trails that we emit, all sorts of things that could, for Cosmozoa that we barely understand, and that I'll admit I am getting a better sense of it here, but that would still, it would require a lot to match it up. I'm saying it's a maybe.
He just gives like a shrug of like, what else are we gonna do right now?
Yep. But she, Melnick sighs for a moment and says, "Look, if you give me a little time, I might be able to figure that out, Commander."
Okay.
I might be able to assist you. I have studied some sciences, and I might be able to help.
Okay, good idea. Xanta, Melnick, you can try to figure out what might be able to attract these the space squids to us. If in the meantime, Fernier, Leighton, you can work on the first plan and try to adjust the hull plate to mimic the targeting interference.
I'll try to get more from the engines steadier.
And I'll go and clean some goop off the window.
All right. I'll give you a ping in case I see readings saying the Noskins are going to come back.
Yes. Please let me know that if that happens.
Yep, either that, or if Aegis comes calling.
Well, let's hope that happens first.
Yep. So, Shira, you move to climb up to the top hatch of the shuttle pod, where you can exit the airlock and conduct the not so glamorous but still extremely useful custodial work on the away mission.
Yeah. She'll go out with her phaser and Ushantor.
Yep. Ushantor to scrape, phaser for the sterilization and deep cleaning.
Yeah.
All right. So while that's happening, let's cut back over to the Aegis. And in this time, I have completely forgotten where we are bringing the crew together, because we do not have a good shuttle bay set, and what's the other thing? The GM has otherwise forgotten what was said. So what do you guys want to do? Sick bay, conference room, brig. What are we thinking?
The conference room's up on the top. Let's just go the
I mean, you sent him to the sick bay.
yeah, I sent him to sick bay.
Okay, that was more what I had had forgotten as such. Okay, let me just reassign some tokens. Move some tokens here, because I have all of the. I basically had everybody from the Project Panic scenario stuck in there at the moment. So let's move some crew around. Sorry about this. Just let's see. Okay, so Sharp would be there. Tavashi would at least be present, although Cheesy, you have your other character available, so we'll not worry about calling them in. Then let me get a few Mako tokens on the board here. Okay. Sorry for the slight wait, everybody. Just signing a few things here. And all right. So make them visible real quick. Hope that you are all having fun here, chat. Also, well, I'll not hold it against you this time. I realized that I should have increased the difficulty on that, the task from earlier, the sensor task, which you still would have succeeded at. It just shouldn't have given you the point of momentum. I'll not ask for that back retroactively, but I'm just going to say that the task. The increase in difficulty is still yet to be assigned here, so we'll worry about that in a minute here. All right. So, apologies here, just getting that last token moved in. All right, so it's been a few minutes, but we'll move to the bridge. Captain Horn, the two of you were able to take the turbo lift down to deck 6, and then had to climb through basically a utility ladder section, going down the last couple of decks due to the momentary turbo lift outage. As you come through, repair teams are at work, putting out fires and other things. A few crew with minor burns wind up coming out of the sick bay. There were a few injuries, it seems, but they are ushered out quickly thanks to the efficient medical team you have. As you walk in, let's see, Tally is not there. As you walk in to sick bay, you find Mako's arrayed in different areas, and the doctor and some of the other medical staff are in sick bay, tending to matters. There are 3 people that you do not recognize, or at least they appear strange to you. You can immediately identify, however, on the back wall, what appears to be an Andorian gentleman with an eye patch and a rowdy look to his face. A species, I'd say, only because of your experience, Sharp, and the briefings that you have, Horn, you would know the man in the background to be a Eurydian, noted for often having information gatherers, or like it's a famous profession, or a hat of the species, if you would.
Yeah. Let's not get stereotypes here. That'd be racist.
Fair.
Even though it's Star Trek.
Yeah. And then on the nearest seat, and with Lambeth looking him over, would be a Suliban.
When we walk into the room, it's like Horn just scared the eyes flicker to everyone, and then he just murmurs to the captain, "I see a joke."
She just gives a side glance, and there'd always be humor if she wasn't already kind of focused on the job at the moment. She just gives like a mild disgruntled grimace and says, All right. I'm gonna make this very, very brief for the three of you. She looks at the three pirates. I appreciate your help, whether or not you wanted to help or not. One of you three are probably the ones who sent the message. Thank you. But the moment you try to betray me, I'm having one of my guards either shoot you or throw you out in space. Do you understand? I don't want any betrayal at the current moment because I can't tolerate that right now. I have a lot more things on my mind.
From the back, the Andorian calls out, "Hey, fine by me. I'll meet your rule, and I'll do the same for you. You guys betray me, I'll kill all of you. How's that sound?"
Rocco, Jesus Christ.
She just eyes and then looks back.
I'm going to say that there is some sort of messianic Suliban character, and that was just the closest translation that the universal translators could work out. The Andorian Messiah is unpronounceable. There's another Star Trek V reference for you.
Well, seems like you and our own Shira will be fast friends then.
Oh.
So how about you start from the top? Whoever's in charge. I don't care which. Though I'm pretty good at spawning liars. So choose wisely.
I'm the one that sent the message, so I feel like that's me.
All right.
All eyes swivel to you.
Yeah.
What do you need to know?
Why are you willing to help? Who are you? Who's your friends? May you tell me more details about this little pirate haven that I got my ship stuck in?
My name is Remora. This is Rocco, and this is Kesh. We are one of the very few on board who are not the weird people, the Nausicaans. Ugh. But I'm here to help you because of something that you did a while back. I got word that a ship by the name of the Aegis helped refugees of my people. Because of that, you have my full trust and assistance. The pirate den that you're in is governed by, I'm already sure you've met the luxurious Captain Femus. This is like a farm that you stumbled into. What we do is we corral something called, how do you pronounce it? Alveomes?
Alveum.
Alveum? Little creatures that look like they have tentacles and a back onto them. Basically, they produce EM fields. Did I say that right, Hesh?
Yes, that's correct. Wait, why am I helping you? You kidnapped me.
Out of love.
Oh.
Besides, these people look a lot better. I mean, have you seen this ship? Oh my god. Everything's clean. But yes, we hoard those like you would cattle, and we use them.
For what?
Oh, well. And aside from Famous liking to keep him for his own purposes, or, well, for, like, I don't know, pets or whatnot. Well, they don't make good pets. He does harvest them at a certain point, slaughter some of the young, before they're capable of going FTL, and I know that they produce a certain concentrate that can be turned into a sort of gas mixed in with plasma. Really good for the engines.
There's just a disgusted, like, squint of her eyes, but folds her arms. Continue.
We sell some of them.
Make good money from it too.
Yeah.
Continue.
But one of the most beneficial things I think for you would be that again they produce EM fields, which makes it really hard to target things around them.
How strong of an EM field?
Depends on how many you can get around the ship. The smaller ones don't produce as much, but if you get a bunch of smaller ones, you can produce a fairly big EM field, big enough to where they won't see you on the sensors, and if you might, I don't know, travel with a big group of them, it just looks like you would be a part of a big group of Albion, unless they looked out their screen.
Certainly
Just
useful
nods.
for a pirate.
Certainly useful. How many other ships does he have?
GM, do I know an estimate?
There's probably a dozen raiders on site and others that are kind of out on patrol.
At least a dozen on site and a few more on patrol. But we took out a few of those patrol ones, I believe.
How's the loyalty of his band?
Mostly by fear. He's a very powerful man with very powerful contacts. Nobody's ever really tried to cross him. Mutiny's not a big thing that happens a lot.
Do you know where Famous's CNC is? Command post. Command ship.
I know the general location, but I hate to throw him under the bus, but I think Hesh could give you better directions.
Don't bring me into this.
You are already into it, you might as well just accept it.
You can always see the outside of the ship, she says, with like a very flat tone looking at Hash.
Ooh, we're treading on that betrayal line right there.
We haven't made a deal yet.
It doesn't matter. Either way, that... the main base is so deep in the field, you'd never get there before the other raiders came upon you, and, well, we might have gotten into the battle late, and I might not have had much of a chance to look at the sensors before somebody knocked me out. But even with that, I would say that your ship would come under too much fire before then.
You lead me to that. But you know where it is.
I do. But that would put us in. I would put us in much more danger. It would put me in much more danger, and I'm only. The only thing I need right now is an escape hatch, or that is to say, an escape route out of this situation. I don't believe in going so much deeper into a dangerous spot.
Well, you're on the ship now, and there's probably a screen somewhere, like a general purpose screen, that would call up like a local star map, and just start guessing.
Yeah, so you could easily pull up some sort of screen near enough, Kesh.
She'll look over to Remora. We're having a bit of trouble trying to get into the your former band's communications. Can you help out with that? They're trying methods that I'm not aware of.
My guess is they're using the alveum.
Hmm.
But there's
Okay.
a specific wavelength that they use, basically bypasses it, but it's only with the pirates. So if I give you that, that should work.
Good.
Oh yeah, we know all sorts of things like that. We know the we know shield frequencies they use, especially for herding alveum, the deflector modulations, the comm setups, all that sort of thing.
Always useful. She gives a small smile. Thank you. You good enough to walk, Ramona?
Oh, I'm perfect to walk. These legs will keep with me until I'm older than a star.
Great. She will motion for one of the guards to approach. This woman will take you up to the bridge and let Mr. Crichton know that you're there to help him get communications running. Mr. Amora.
Awesome. I make a recommendation.
You can.
I think you should send Rocco, under guard of course, to help in engineering and repairs. He's the best engineer I know. And him sitting in this room is just going to make him antsy.
She'll just and she'll say, and I have your talking to Remora, but definitely loud enough for everybody here. And I have your trust that he's not going to try to send a secret message or signal to anyone outside the field. Out in the
Oh yeah,
fields.
no. He's the one that knocked out Kesh. I trust him.
All right.
Just in the background, Racco is talking to Tavashi. It's like getting his backstory. It's like, oh yeah, the guard sucks. Just in the background.
Yeah. All right. She'll just nod. All right. I'll see you to that. And your last member?
Kesh, would you be willing to help? I will say, you looking for an escape hatch would lead you into more danger, because how will Themis really look at this? You kind of just ran.
I didn't run myself. You I might be able to help a little bit with sensors, but it just you need to promise to get me out of this, both of you. Says, wagging a finger both at you, Remora, and you, Sharp. All of you, as a matter of fact. It's all of your faults.
I put my life on it.
You have my word that I'll get you out of this mess. You will be part of the crew as we leave this asteroid field. What you do outside this field is none of my concern. As long as you cooperate.
His finger will curl inward and grip into his fist. Says, "Oh, all right. I will try to work with you on this."
So what can you do, Mr. Hash?
Well, I'm best at sensors, communications, other sorts of technology, such as that.
Great, you can come with us to the bridge then.
Oh dear. As you guys start crawling out, let's actually see if repairs have started to take at this point. Romanov, I'll say that while this scene is running, you are able to direct repairs, and I'll even I will. I'll allow you, instead of making a presence roll, you can make a control roll in order to make the repair on this. Would you be up for that, Brian?
Yes, I would. And I'll do it from the engineering station on the bridge.
Okay. So,
Okay.
yeah, I'll let you coordinate with the teams as you try to basically help them seal plasma conduits and like direct them properly. Try to get the turbolifts back online. Let's call this so repairing the structure. It would ordinarily be a difficulty 3 task, but there are 2 notes to this. First, the because of the Quatlu spend from one of our players here live, the difficulty of this task is increased by 1, so the total difficulty is 4. Structure damage also means that there is a natural increase in the complication range of all engineering tasks to repair systems, so it increases by 2.
And then we have sturdy design, don't we, or something like that?
Rugged design, I think. Let me take
Yeah.
let me take a close look at this one moment. Okay, sorry about that. Just it took me a moment to find the thing on the ship sheet, but I think that yeah, rugged design, that reduces the difficulty of all tasks to repair the ship by 1. So you effectively you cut down the difficulty from the increased spend there, and that will allow you instead to roll for at a difficulty of 3, basically.
Okay, so here's what I want to do. I want to use. Can I use repair team leader on this to try to repair a breach, or
I don't see a problem with that, although I just need to check the talent for reference. Can you read that off for me?
I can read it off for you right now. Repair team leader. If you succeed at the damage control task, Star Trek Adventures 244, you may spend 3 momentum repeatable to repair 1 breach. So I'm gonna have to bag a momentum since we have 2, or
Oh.
possibly more than 1, right? Because I don't, and that's yeah. Go ahead.
So I'm going to say that if you have the 3 momentum, that yes, that would be entirely viable. I will note
Okay.
right at this moment, you have 3 breaches. 2 of them are on structure. 1 of them is on sensors. While you can get rid of the effects of a breach, you still suffer like the breaches themselves, they linger on the sheet basically until you return to port. But repair
Right.
team leader, I think, would count towards nullifying that, basically doing away with those breaches. So, yeah, if you succeed at that, then you can spend as many momentum as you have, so long as it's in intervals of 3. I suppose if you
Okay. And I have cautious engineering. Whenever you attempt a task with engineering, you may buy 1 or more D20s. I could buy a D20, guys. That drops us down to 1. It gives me a potential to re-roll anything, but downside, if I don't generate momentum, we don't have enough to do repair team leader as a trick. So just so you guys know.
You have to spend momentum to get momentum.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that's my opinion. I'm just warning you guys, this could be a colossal failure, and we all end up as Nausicaan prisoners, and
Hey, whatever happens, happens. Go for it.
Was the
and
plan
then
all
the
along.
game becomes like, what is that? That show about orange, wearing orange, whatever Nausicaans put their prisoners in. Okay, So then I will go ahead and spend one. I am using electro power systems. Which breach do you guys want me to get first? I assume sensors, right?
Well, I should clarify. Right now, the only system that is basically causing effects would be or causing you problems would be the structure. That is what is damaged right now.
Okay,
Yeah,
then
we're
that is.
working on structure right now.
So you guys want me to go for structure first, right?
Yep.
Okay, structure first. Um, I don't know if I have a focus that applies, but if you allow me to use electroplasma systems, obviously there's probably, you know, movable parts involved with the structures, you know, shock systems and stuff like that. So, can I apply electroplasma?
I will allow that.
You're my hero sometimes on a Saturday morning. Okay. Let's see. So I'm using a focus. I'm spending one die. I'm doing control and engineering.
Yep.
And this
Bear in
looks
mind
like
your
it's
complication range is has been
it's
increased
brutal.
by 2, so it should be a total of 3 now.
God. Okay.
It's good you
And
have
then
cautious.
yes, I have cautious so I can reroll. And this is a pretty major thing. We've got to get out of this. I'm going to invoke my value. Always have an exit strategy. In this case, the exit strategy is get the fuck out of Dodge as soon as possible. But we need an operational ship to do that. What do you think?
That makes sense. This is a time to have an exit strategy.
Okay, great. Then I'm going with that. Remember, I have 2 successes to start with. Okay. And I just hit yes. Okay, sorry. Now it'll roll. Now you'll get the roll. There it is. Okay.
Okay, and that is
Nice.
So that was
Okay.
2 successes from the auto crit. You have 5 successes on the die there, which creates a total of 7. That exceeds the difficulty, which was 3, giving you 4 points of momentum to
And I
to your
attribute
existing
my
team.
sweet.
Or
Sweet.
rather, nice. To your existing pool of 1 momentum. So you have a total of 5 available. That is enough to repair at least 1 breach if you so wish.
Yes. Let's get to that now. So I just closed my sheet. I was so happy with the roll. I closed the sheet by accident. Okay, so we want to do the first thing because there's a stage of things I'm going to do here. We want to spend 3 momentum to repair that breach.
Yep. Now, as a reminder, structure and sensors both have 1 breach. Structure has a 2nd breach, which is what currently qualifies it as damaged. So,
Okay.
would you prefer to repair structure or sensors?
I want to get player consensus on this. Structure or sensors, guys. Structure is going to get us halfway there, but at least we're better off than we were before in terms of structure. Sensors.
Just focus on structure, I think.
That's what I was thinking. Okay, so then structure is the 1. And then I want to spend 1 more momentum to get a little bit more power because I know we've been spending power and we could probably use it back. So what she does was she recycles some of the excess power by routing it into buffers. And she's been capturing that, and now she's going to route it back into the primary system.
You know...
we regen power like per scene or something like that, right? Or something like that?
No. It's, you hadn't regenerated power between sessions.
We have
it's
not
between
regenerated anything.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm doing it right now.
But yes,
I
okay.
currently show us at 5, but if we do this trick, we're back up to 6. The enemy might not be expecting that. They may be expecting that we don't have enough power.
So how much momentum did we gain from this total, or really usable momentum that you gained?
You
I'm
still netted
spending-
1 momentum.
Okay. Well, the breach seal requires 3, so we
Right.
spent 3, and then it would be 1 more if you guys want me to max out our power, which I have to do it now because it has to happen.
Yeah, but I mean, like, okay. I'm sorry. I'm just I'm still waking up.
No, I understand.
With the successes, how many extra momentum did you get from that?
Let's see.
It went up to 5 total
Okay,
momentum.
All right, then you
5.
spent 3.
Yep,
And
so
hold
we're
on,
down
there
to 2.
We're back down to 2. And you want to spend extra 1? No. I think
there's
we should keep
one
it 2
more. You
for
guys are miscounting. I spent 1 momentum, so there was still 1 sitting there. So when we gain back, it's actually 5. We're at 6 momentum. But call it, because I won't be able to pull this trick, unless I make.
let's just hold it for now.
We are at 5. We're actually better off than I thought we would.
Yeah, we're at 5. We're good.
Okay, hold on. There's one other thing I have to do, which is wherever Eula is, she'll get a little barf in her mouth as I use a Vulcan mantra to help me focus and achieve this goal. Yes, I had to do that. Whenever she was up, she was like, Vulcan.
Someone using Vulcan in the system.
Okay, I think I'm done.
So we have 3 currently then?
Let's see. So you guys had 4 points of momentum that were incoming, so it should have been 5 total. So you would be down to 2.
Okay, we're down to 2.
So we're back down. We're back to 2. We're back to the same place. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
and we did not spend any on the power. Clarification.
Yeah.
We just blew that off because we're okay there.
Yeah.
I'm just have the GM check because I just want to make sure where we are with the momentum.
Yeah. I was double checking my notes on the power question as well. I think that is appropriate because it was a bit messy last session, but I think that most of the power you expended was to restore hull plating, which is an engineering task, which means that you could easily restore, or like the little more power allows you to pull just a bit more, like since Romanov kept succeeding. The only power you lost was from firing the phase cannons at one point. So,
yeah.
That is all tracking right now. But yes, with all of that, that will remove 1 breach from structure. In the time that you have the conference in sickbay, like you see that as you are heading out of sickbay and further forward, you see that turbolift function appears to be restored. An injured crewman is actually being helped through as one of the engineers, the damage control people, is like reporting in over a wall panel communication line to let the bridge know systems are back online, or turbolift function is restored completely in the primary hull. So that'll be an easy trip back up to the bridge for you. While a conversation continues in the sick bay, Commander Shira, you pull back into the shuttle pod. The Cosmozoa floating around, tentacles undulating, and an eerie cyan glow. One iridescent from basically segments of their main body flaring up every so often. They pass you by. They're not they don't seem particularly aggressive. You might occasionally get the odd curious one. There are also more that are starting to come into the cavern now.
Nice. Good.
Yep. It seems like there's excitement as they float around. But you are able to make it back inside the shuttle pod with the rest of your away team.
In the shuttle, Leighton is just kind of like, don't need that, give it to the doctor. No, this we don't need this. Get rid of that. I'm gonna put that. rigging the engine.
Now wait a minute. I think we're gonna want that regulator there.
Nah, no, we don't. We just put that over here.
I disagree there, specialist. Yeah, the chief and the specialist are going with that over that. Melnyuk is going over reading the Xantar's like, there is. It's still a maybe, but there is some way to. If we had the right combination of, there might be some way that we could blend. Well, I mean, we're kind of blending in with the natural scenery right now, but there might be some means of guiding them. Their physiology is just so. Oh, it's different from anything that I've studied, and I'm not quite. Well, allow the GM to check my sheet.
As it happens, there's actually a species similar to that on the Denobian home planet. Actually, I might be able to pull something out from that and see if we can work on something from there.
Interesting.
This ATV we don't need. It just kind of rips, like literally rips out with sparks.
Yep. An alarm goes off at the console. Ladies and gentlemen, passengers all, I'm going to ask you to not rip out anything that informs me we have under 2 minutes of life support left.
No, it's lying to it. It's lying to you. Don't worry about it. He just kind of like clicks it off.
Hey, don't worry about it. Click.
Okay, so how would you go about attracting the space squids to us?
Well, so I guess the nearest analogy I could think of would be, I don't know, something like, there are all sorts of natural behaviors, like pheromones or displays, and ways that,
certain movements and poses that the creatures will take up to lure them in.
Yeah, it's common enough throughout nature in any situation. The trick. Oh, you okay there, Brian?
Yeah, I was just seeing that there was a flip there, so ignore me.
Oh, no, he's just pulled another wire out.
Yeah, my Discord disconnected and then reconnected, so I was like, "What?"
And that's what the button on the console was yelling about.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's see. We lost my train of thought there. It's just a matter of finding the right combination of what we need to do to how best to put this, to primp and preen ourselves in a way to, I don't know. We want to make sure that we can attract enough of them to surround us and follow us without, any complications. I'd hate for them to think that we are hostile or worse, to create other attractive qualities, I suppose.
Yes, okay. I understand.
Damn it. I don't want to damage the shuttle or hurt any of them, physically
Neither
or
do I.
feelings. Yes.
As little damage as possible would be most appreciative.
Yeah, so we're getting there, but it's still. I'm doing the best I can with the limited sensors on the shuttle pod. But we're trying to figure out how to adapt that. It would. Honestly, I do wish I were on the ship, if for no other reason than a small laboratory setup would probably give me the insight that I would need in a faster time frame than I can do with the doctor here. No offense, Santar.
No, none taken.
We're going to be under emergency powder for a minute.
As he says that, he gets up like the sanitizing spray and just sprays a hand. Just
Yep. All the as you do that too, all lights and controls in the shuttle pod go offline for a moment. It whirs to just a dead quiet.
Ah.
Justice turns back to look towards Leighton, as does Milnyuk.
I did say it's going to be on for a minute. He says,
Right?
it's coming back at the moment. Right now. No. Give me a second. He just like grumbles, and just like swats it hard, and it's in one of the components.
I was gonna say, does it give it a kick?
Yeah, the proverbial kick. He just swats it, like gives it a spanking.
Yep.
Spat.
Controls come
back
on. Controls come back online, but only emergency lighting returns. Alright. Specialist, gonna say this here as, well, one of the many people here that are higher ranking than you. Whatever work you are doing, can you not? At least not without breaking my ship.
I can put it back together.
Justice returns to the shuttle pod controls with a bit of a grumble picked up over the mic.
Just checking, are the weapon systems still operational?
So long as we don't pull one of the other coils or regulator systems, I can probably keep it going.
Good, because the pirates may still mount an attack.
Yeah, presuming they're not busy with Aegis.
I guess that's a cue for meanwhile back in Aegis.
Yep. Smash cut back to the bridge of the Aegis. So let's. Speaking of the. Excuse me. All right. So back aboard. Well, let's see. Just moving one more token. Back aboard the Aegis, not sickbay, the bridge. Back aboard the Aegis, the turbolift doors open. Sharp horn. The two of you come to the bridge. You are followed by a Uridian whom you come to know as Kesh, and by the Suliban named Remora, who has come to your side. Remora, walking the halls of this ship are a fair bit more cramped than what you are used to, or than what you might have expected. The bulkheads are low and rounded on many of the corridors. And the command center is, like, it's hard to say exactly whether there's a little more volume here. The layout is definitely different from what you're used to. It seems they have a couple consoles before what you would guess to be a command chair, and then one console with split positions. Your guess would be for navigational purposes. And then other consoles that are arrayed along the wall. In the back of the room, there is a computer with a display of the Aegis's decks, what everyone else knows as a Master System Display, or the MSD, and the usual view screen out ahead. Creighton is at his... Creighton turns to you, Sharp, as you see a human man near the console here. Captain, I've had no luck breaking through the pirates' communication frequencies. They are using, their frequencies are such that it's a bit more sophisticated than what I would have expected, and I'm just having trouble getting through them, sir.
Well, you're in luck, Mr. Crichton. Mr. Remora here is had a few ideas and was willing to help. If you would like, he might be able to get you through there.
Hey, sir.
Go ahead.
No, nothing. Go ahead, sir.
You can also get some other helpful information, and Miss Stewart, you can also get probably a few tips and better understanding this field. Perhaps do a bit of scanning for the local anomaly with Mr. Hedge here. And she just looks over at Romanov. Any news from any outstanding reports that Wall's gone?
Do we, other than we've gotten some repair done, anything else that I need to report to the captain, Zach? We did my rolls. That was about it.
Yeah, I'd say nothing of note, basically. Turbolift function is restored. Damage appears to be pretty well under control. Segments of hull are being patched. The Nausicaans, meanwhile, are continuing to obey the ceasefire, but other ships are on sensors in the field on approach. The odds are not really in your favor on that front.
Well, back to stations.
Good
Romanov,
news, man. Look, nobody's shooting at us.
yet, but
This-
it is a nice bonus for the day.
It is a nice bonus for the day.
Crichton, let's get some communication with the shuttle, shall we?
Hey, sir.
Also, I would like just before it, as soon as I can, basically, just sidle up to Romanov and just go. Also, Romanov, we send one of them to engineering, where he can apply his skills. If you want to keep an eye on that or not, it's up to you.
Yeah, you mean our new friend, Remora, right?
No,
Yeah.
another one. There's a third one in Andorian.
Okay, everybody will
He
be
has
patient.
he has a Mako guard on him to be on the safe side, but you feel free to have your own close inspections.
Yep, I'll just never can have too many eyes on during crisis situations, right? Safety first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, also, fair warning. He suggested that he reacts to betrayals with stabbings, so just to keep in mind.
Well, that's why he's got a Mako next to him, right?
It occurs to you at this moment, Romanov, that you left Tally in charge.
Was that a bad move? She's trying to suddenly realize that she's been doing all this other stuff. Ugh.
At the same time, like, just in engineering, there's a circle of engineers and
looking-
two Andorians, but bound to each other's wrists by a chain, are fighting.
Your character's close enough to her because you're explaining something. She suddenly stops and goes, "Shit." No, she'll go ahead and make a change. I'll shift Tully off and shift somebody else on. And yeah, we'll have watchers on anybody who's in engineering, and somebody is monitoring communications and stuff like that. So drop that in the orders, hand the con back over to the cap.
Romanov,
Yeah.
how small of an engineering guidance system could you make in, let's say, an hour?
Could pirate a probe navigation system, which is only designed for anything that's scale 2 or less. What kind of configuration do you want on it? I already have one. It's called a probe. What does it need to be able to do?
It just needs to carry. How heavy are torpedoes, GM?
The warhead?
No, the entire. How heavy is the entire? Is an entire phaser torpedo, GM?
You mean your conventional missile type things?
Yeah.
It's at least the weight of a torpedo.
Yes.
At least
She'll
And of
just-
course, once
she'll
it
just-
gets into space, it
she'll
doesn't
just-
weigh anything at all.
She'll just list twice the weight of that.
Okay, twice the weight of that. Can I do that, Zach? Could I take a probe?
With some guidance system, minimal guidance system.
Yeah.
Can I do that?
I mean, the torpedo itself already has a.
No. I don't want to activate the torpedo. Not yet.
Oh, what you're saying is get the torpedo.
I want to Uber that Uber Eats that or DoorDash that torpedo before activating.
Okay,
the
then
torpedo.
in that scenario, you are detonating the torpedo remotely. You're not using the magnetic acceleration of the torpedo launcher. So we're using it more like a mine. Yeah, I can put a
Oh,
probe.
I thought there's an accelerator to the torpedo itself. Otherwise, I
Yes,
wouldn't have
yes.
guidance systems.
I always thought they had to be in like a channel and they were
No.
you're right, they have
That
thrusters
boosts
on
their speed, but that doesn't.
They
that doesn't-
do. You
yeah.
are correct. That's just trajectory. You're right. There's thrusters on the back. So yeah, you want me to make one to make it guided so you can fire it off closer to the target.
Just simply have it. I don't care how badly it can target. I just need it at a location and aimed at a direction,
Okay.
relative direction.
Fair enough. Give me a little time to play around with that. The bridge is back to you.
You have
so-
3 hours.
3 hours. Then that's what I'm on. I'll do those shift changes on the data pad. Put Tully, thanks for his time. Do another shift and people watching other people down in engineering. And I'll head off the bridge.
All right.
I'll nod at the new people. Nice to meet you. Her eyes linger a little bit on the Suliban. That's like
It-
pretty much, but
Romanov
calling
needs to
up
handle.
members.
Romanov needs to handle excessive EM without being too affected either.
got it. Excessive EM. Okay, thank you for the tip. Okay, I'll head on down there to take care of it.
While all of this is going on, Kesh just quietly nudges Remora with an aside. I think we are going to regret this. You are going to regret this anyway, because you got us into this mess. With that bit of grumbling, he's just going to walk over and try to answer some questions for Stewart, which Remora leaves you with the communications officer. A man you see is named, or you've heard at this point is named Crichton. Hello, sir.
I haven't been called sir in a long time.
Oh,
Please keep doing it. It makes me feel very special.
people do tend to like it when I say that.
All right, so what do you need from me?
Oh, well, I guess the first thing, since you're so helpful, would be helping us get around some of the ambient interference. We've been trying to reach our crews in the shuttle pod, but they are presently inside one of the asteroids, and there's been some sort of unusual EM interference that we've not been able to effectively compensate for. I don't suppose you have any tips or tricks on that.
I do. So right now they're being basically messed up by a bunch of little squid-like things that have an EM field. I can give you... Would it be like a signal, GM? Or...
I'd say you can give him a particular way to modulate their communications frequency so that they can cut down on some of the interference.
try and help him with that. Is that what would I roll to remember that?
Let's see. I think in this case, calling that to mind, and this would basically be an assist for him to conduct a hailing frequencies roll. I think that very narrowly, I guess you could it could be like a science plus control roll, and if you could make this an assist if you would like to just help Crichton do this. I'll even let it stack on top of the ship, because he's right now. Right now, I believe that from where you are, the Alveum combined with the asteroid is creating a difficulty 3 for them to task to establish shuttle communications. The jamming made it nigh impossible before, but you can at least shave off some of the difficulty signaling the shuttle pod, so you can reduce the difficulty of that task to a 2.
Okay.
So
You said science and control?
yes. And Crichton will make the main attempt with with control plus engineering. Let's see.
Not good with science, bud, but I'm gonna try and explain it the best I can.
Yeah. To be fair, you use it more for navigational purposes.
That should have been a 1, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'll just take your role there and have Crichton assist as he tries to open hailing frequencies. He won't succeed, but you succeeded, so that's what counts here. If somebody can roll communications plus engineering for the ship, we can also see if you guys get any momentum off of that.
What was it again?
Communications plus engineering.
All right, I think I got it.
Hey,
Hey.
good work there. So
Thank-
yeah, that will give you a point of momentum, and Crichton is going to try to cut through some of the static there, such that we cut back to a moment on the shuttle pod, and a bit of static will come through on the line. But that gives way to a. This is Starship Aegis calling shuttle pod crew. Lieutenant Commander Shira, please respond. This is the Aegis. Do you read Aegis? I mean, do you read shuttle pod?
This is Shira. We're here.
No, wait. They can't hear you. Give me a moment. And
Hello. Hello.
Yes, we hear you, Crichton.
Yeah, Fernier just takes a component that Leighton had pulled out and sticks it back in, exasperated. Then wagging finger, stop messing with my ship.
I'm wondering why it necessitated deactivating the microphone.
There you are. Hello, Commander. Captain, we have the shuttle pod back. This is Aegis here. What is your situation?
Situation much as the same. The pirates have attempted 2 assaults. We've driven them back. We're currently working on potential escape options involving the unusual Cosmozoa here.
As you say that, one of them passes across the front of the cockpit, tentacles undulating as it just moves, like side to side and up and down, in a mysterious fashion.
Good minds think alike, Shuttle. We might have a bit of a pick-me-up there when it comes to that. We have an expert in such things. Apparently we stumbled upon a bit of a whaling prophet here. And the whalers know exactly how to communicate them a bit more properly. Or get them to herd properly. Just looking over at Remora.
That would be very useful. That's Melnyuk and Xanta have been trying to figure out how to get them to do this. But it's looking like it's going to take some time.
I don't suppose your your whaling friends have any tips on like engine modulations in order to have a the correct ion trail to not repel them, or frequencies to set hull polarization in order to attract them.
Permission to speak?
She just gestures with a hand, like, go ahead.
Alright, to herd them, you're going to need to modulate your shields and charge the hull to a specific field type, and then you're going to have to use the comms array to emit a subspace type of buzzing.
Well, we don't have shields.
They don't have shields. Kesh's eyes just go wide, and he looks to her.
She just narrows her eyes and gives a very quiet tone. Did I ask for an echo?
No, they don't have shields.
What kind of death trap are we riding on?
The one that you're sitting on, and the one that's going to get out of here. Now shut up.
Is there some way we can replicate that using our hull plating?
Kesh, for his part, will say, I suppose if they're using an older system like that.
Alright. I'm going to send out everything they need.
Okay. I will say if you want to do one more roll just to juice it. Well, no, I'm just going to say, because of your natural skill set and the knowledge you've come in with, I will have you do one roll. We'll make this a, we'll call it a control plus con roll, since you are relaying this information through the console. And it's mostly like things that you know in terms of corralling these or the Alveum in order to help you out.
And you're trying to do that, and it's your first experience of English. All the consoles in English there.
It'd be
Good
great.
luck.
It's okay. Here, I can let me set up the touch screen. The SCOM system. I have had some experience translating Suliban before, so here, this might be it's a little rudimentary, but should let you do what you need to. There, now the ship is helping you with engineering and communications for anyone that wants to roll for that.
Do you want me to roll? I didn't know if you were doing a scene for somebody else, so
I got the ship.
Okay.
You can spend momentum for an extra dice if you want. Or
Communication and engineering, correct?
Yes.
Cool. Well, you can just
Right.
roll.
Yep.
Got it.
Well, with the one success there, that actually, well,
Oh, got the ship.
yeah.
Nice going, Chad.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, so that is 3 successes right there, and that means, Remora, that you have not only successfully imparted the information, but you've given the crew 2 additional points of momentum, which I need to update the momentum counter.
Nice. We're
anyway.
up to 5.
Yep. So it should actually read, as 5 there. So yeah, data starts coming through the shuttle pod, where Melnyuk looks over your shoulders and says, Commander, I might be able to get us up to yes with this.
Yes is very good.
So,
Do what you have to.
yep. Sir, I'm not sure how long I can hold the comms line. It's there's still some fluctuation. Anything you'd want to relay to them whilst we
A rendezvous spot would be.
I'm sending you a rendezvous point right now. You have 4 hours starting now.
Okay then.
Be prepared for a likelihood of a lot of fireworks.
I wouldn't expect anything less.
All right. So I think that we'll allow for a slight time skip here.
Yep.
Whilst
Once we get the thing built, that I want to create an advantage called the sharpened spear, as it were, because there's you already made so many analogies of this, so I'm gonna give that to you, Zach. I basically want to create an advantage of setting up a booby trap that I can activate, in which 2 torpedoes will fire from where famous general direction is towards the other pirate ships. So it looks like Famous is backstabbing them, and they can, and whether he can try to communicate that or whatever. I just want to create chaos and have a infighting so that we can get the fuck out, while we're just simply fleeing with the proverbial whales.
okay.
Take
So
the whales and run.
yep, I'm going to say that this is a. We're going to make it a difficulty. Well, are you just buying this with momentum outright?
Yes, I'm buying some momentum.
Okay, so that'll be
Okay.
2 points in momentum to. We'll play it according to like technically in 1E or first edition of Star Trek Adventures, it's still considered just creating an advantage. We'll at least borrow the language of the second edition though, and say that you are creating a scene trait here in order to
Yeah.
help things here. So, a
Um,
probe will be our probe with the torpedo will be deployed and ready for use at a time of your liking or a time of your
And
choosing.
let me know, do I need to make a roll for that, or is that what do you how,
we just bought the advantage for it, so
Yep. By
do I need to make a roll in connection with that, or
you don't need to do anything further for that. What is it with Sharp's spend there? I'm just going to say in
other
time
than
that
be my awesome self?
precisely Romanov is
Okay.
just that good.
you really are that good. You give what the captain asks you, and then the last thing I want to do. Do I really want to pull the trope? Kind of do.
Do it. Pull the trope.
Huh?
Do it.
Okay. I want to use one more probe, and I want to use reverse the polarity of the whole plane very briefly to start bringing all the small debris out to try to fill the space where we were before, and then very, very silent running, just start slowly scooting back and leave a probe behind, and use my communications through that probe to make it look like we're still there, that we are still, that bunch of rocks with a probe in it is actually the Aegis still motionless, because nobody's looking through the window. We're not that close. Like, it's space. We're not that super close. All they're seeing is a sensor ping, and this is an asteroid field.
I feel like that'd be a little harder to justify for the advantage.
Okay.
You might be able to confuse them with like the use your deflector to create a warp signature imprint that tricks the
Sure.
Nausicaan
Okay.
sensors.
Yeah, I will bounce. I use a deflector to reflect a warp signature on asteroid, and then bounce my communications through there for signals to make it look like I am still there. And when I send a signal later, initially, he can think that I'm still talking from there. Even though it'd be probably a lot more scratchy looking.
Yeah. It will it'll create a sort of uneven effect, I suppose.
Yeah.
Anyway, as this as this process sets up, I guess if you want to spend the momentum to buy that, you can take that, and I can make like a difficult. Or
can I make a roll for that? Try to create the momentum or advantage because I am a captain.
well, that'd be more an engineering task if you're trying to go that way, because it's using the deflector for those purposes.
Okay. Can I? Hey, Romanov, I have this idea. Can you do it?
Shoot me again. Sorry, I'm in the middle of the probe thing. What do you want me to do?
Well, you're almost done with that, but
Okay.
Basically,
let
go ahead.
yeah, I'm bouncing. I'm bouncing our warp signature with the deflector to an empty asteroid nearby, to like it was us there. And so when we creep away, we're still looking like we haven't moved.
The problem is the sensor reflex from multiple frequencies.
Sure. But
And
I
that's
trust you.
what-
You are an amazing engineer. You can work around that.
You want me to create a fake? You want me to create a fake signal?
I mean, it's a murky asteroid. There's not much stuff they're going to sense.
The only way I could think of doing that, Zach, would be maybe to try to twist some of the debris so the reflection angle is correct, and then, of course, another probe to emanate some other frequencies. Would that be viable?
I mean, loosely speaking, that you could justify it how you liked. I was thinking more to get something of a proper size. It might be more of a like deflector imprint on one of the larger asteroids to make them think it's roughly.
That's what I was saying.
And it's only something that's going to confuse them and make the difficulty of an attack go up. So they'll have to roll a difficulty 3 roll, and if they fail, they wind up attacking the asteroid instead.
Man,
I'll just clarify. This will give you a few. This will only buy a few minutes.
Never mind then. Okay. Never mind then. All right, let's just hide with the whales.
Hide with the whales and run like hell out of here with the whales, because they might not shoot the whales because the whales are their source of income, right?
Oh.
This is player to GM, right? These guys are benefiting off these space whales.
Basically, I put us on the wrong map from a ways earlier. So let's go back to the shuttle pod right now. So yes, on board the shuttle pod, it has been with the time skip. It has been we'll say that we're maybe an hour or so into that, making adjustments to the ship systems and really, honestly, putting back more equipment than pulling things out after Leighton's custom job.
Look, you want to freaking suck the living life out of the engine. He was trying to get there.
Yep. But with a final reaching over, Romanov, or rather, Melnyuk taps into a inputs a few adjustments into the comms array, and though she'd be talking over your shoulder, but everyone is back in full EV suits now that, in part to make sure that compensating for when life support briefly went out, also to make sure that in case something goes wrong in the mission ahead, that you don't. The shuttle pod losing atmosphere doesn't cause all of you to go unconscious, whatnot. Standard sort of cautious procedure. Melnyuk says, "There, the final adjustments to hull plating are being made now, and engines should be back to full operation. I've adjusted the communications frequency as close as we can. Based on the data that the new friends sent us. This should be enough to keep them with us, and they could probably keep pace with us in impulse power once we're clear of the cavern.
Okay. That's good.
Yep, sharp turns might just be an issue. I think with this, the difficulty to actually hit us should go up by 2 here.
Ah, yes, 2.
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry,
yeah.
are you feeling a... Did you feel a little meta-speak there?
It happens from time to time.
Oh, I didn't have this at all back when I was in the lab.
That's okay. That's okay. When you get back to the lab, you can check your meta out. Right, Justice. You got the coordinates for the rendezvous point?
Yep. Yeah, was ready here's where we're going to be, he says,
Okay.
popping open his faceplate just long enough to push up his glasses a little bit before resealing that. Would you like me to also go ahead and pull any oxygen in here in the tanks? That way, if we do take a hit and lose partial hull integrity, we won't have any explosive decompressions.
Probably a good idea, yes.
All right, everybody take a deep breath, or make sure your suits are topped off.
Everyone, check your suits.
Yep. So,
Xandar is just like, already done.
yep.
Multiple
Layden gives
times
a thumbs up.
and clean the suit.
Yep.
Yes. So, everybody else starts doing that. Once they're all set, Mjolnir straps in, as does Fernier. Let's see. Justice looks to the controls and lets his fingers wiggle a little bit just to, or wave out individually. Right. I'm pretty sure we've got this.
I'm sure you have. Okay. Well, let's say goodbye to this dark cavern and say hello to the dark skies.
Alright. On your mark, Commander. Set to go.
Right. Everyone ready?
Yeah, there's a
Ready, sir.
thumbs up from the NPCs.
Okay. Hit it, Justice.
Justice fires up the thrusters and presses the communications pulse. In doing so, the shuttle pod begins to slowly nudge out from its berth as the Alveum, the Cosmozoa, all begin to undulate their tentacles and close around the shuttle pod. Something curious seemingly drawing them into position. As this happens, a raider from the outside sees a most bizarre sight as they believe that they pick up signs of increasing EM readings, and they think themselves lucky in terms of being about to get a kill. But what they see proves most baffling as they check their sensors and then check them again. For once you clear, Justice guns the shuttle's engines up to impulse. You find yourselves in a formation flight, surrounded by dozens of these small creatures, inexplicably keeping pace with a grace and poise that seem unnatural given their ungangling nature, and yet they effortlessly follow along the shuttle pod route.
I feel like Flight of the Valkyries should be playing right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would have said Swansea. Like da 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 da.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. more ballet than attack formation.
Yep.
True.
Yep. All right, we're clearing it right now. The shuttle pod is holding up, and they haven't started firing yet. So I suppose that's at least a good thing. Then one of the consoles on the shuttle pod beeps as the sensors picks up something. Justice looks over, trying to emit some sort of deflector pulse in our direction. They might be trying to scatter the formation.
Can we use the asteroids to block the pulse? Get some of these rocks between us and them?
I'll try to maneuver away from them and compensate.
No, I got it. I want to jury really quick and throw a counter deflector pulse in his direction to make their raider the most ugliest, uncomfortable thing possible. So that way they will just ignore or just in general try to be away from that raider.
The only thing I'm not entirely certain of, a shuttle pod might not actually have deflector systems.
Okay, well then I want to jury rig the phase cannon to become a deflector and just send a pulse. Send a small pulse, heavy pulse, and you know what? I'll use that as to disrupt his deflector. That's all. I don't want to make that hard.
Yeah, I'll you could definitely see. First, I'm trying to remember if you have like the actual jury rig talent.
Yes, here. I do for Leighton. Absolutely. That's
very
his focus.
Good. Yeah, I knew that was a focus. I didn't know if the talent had been added yet.
Where the frick's Leighton? Here you go, Leighton.
Yeah, I think he.
Do I have it?
I owe you an
activation.
I do not,
but I can get it now.
Yeah, you can definitely give it to him right now. So let's see. Sorry about that. So yeah, with the jury rig talents, that should allow you to just going back over that to make sure that I get this all exactly right. Let's see. All right, for jury rig. Whenever you attempt an engineering task, perform repairs, you may reduce the difficulty by 2 of... Let's see. I'll say that you probably pulled out some systems, so if you would... tell you what, just give me a control plus engineering roll. Yeah, just give me a flat roll. It'll be a difficulty 0, but it will give you a momentary boost to your plasma cannons and give you enough to, specifically knock the deflector or give Shira the opportunity to do that.
Yep, I will add 1 momentum because momentum makes momentum. And jury rig, and let's go.
Very nice.
Ooh.
All right, so you lose 1 for a moment, but then you earn back 5 points of momentum, 4 of which will go into the pool, so that'll max you out to 6. But yes,
Floaty.
Shira, you see that the shuttle pod, Leighton, after messing with some of the systems, has given you a momentary boost to the pod's accuracy and power.
What I want to do is basically he just grabs something, grabs from inside the back wall, pulls out a long electrical cord, and just hooks it up to where the weapons are. He's not supposed to do that. He's basically hooked up the engine straight to the weapons, and then he just grabs a tool and just rips out a piece. There you go. Start firing. Soon, very soon.
Okay. I guess I'll take the shot.
All right. I'm going to allow you to make a control plus security roll to attack the raider. I'm going to say range-wise, you have no imposition of difficulties, but I think that just because the Alveum are surrounding you, it is a difficulty 3 shot. You are assisted,
Okay.
however, by the shuttle pod, which I will
All
go
right.
ahead and, I will roll that for you right now.
That's not good. Okay, that's off to a bad start.
That's bad.
So I will give you a point of threat for an extra dice.
It's good. That does mean a re-roll is available and can
I
be
wonder
applied
what I'm
to the
going to
shuttle
use
pod.
that on. That's and I've got shipboard tactical systems as my focus. So roll
That
3
definitely
dice.
applies.
You want to use momentum here?
He already gave me a threat
Oh,
there.
yeah, right. You're a good threat. Yeah.
And that is 3
So-
successes, so that is enough to
We
hit.
can re-roll that 0.
Does somebody
I
that
just
isn't the GM
imagine
want-
every time the phase cannon's fired, the engine just goes out briefly like a rattle.
Yep. Somebody else want to roll the for the shuttle pod? That is not the
Sure,
GM.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
I got it.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, then. Peter.
Apologies, what am I rolling?
Weapons plus security.
Oh, that's right then.
Okay, that's good.
That is
That's
not a
good.
complication, so
That's good. That's an improvement. Excellent.
yep. Thanks to a last minute bit of rewiring, it's like, oh wait, no, I want the feed to go that way. You spare yourself from the consequences there, and go ahead and roll damage for the plasma cannons. Should be an option there for you, Pete. Under the ship weapons.
Got floating momentum there. You can spend a float. I think we had 1 floating momentum already, and then yeah,
Yep.
we haven't spent
Yep.
any since. So
So we can re-roll that.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
spend the
re-roll those
momentum to re-roll those 3. 2, rather.
Yeah. Go to the challenge dice roller, set it to 2, press enter, and then roll it. It'll spare you a scuffed roll. Try one more time.
good old roll 20. There we go. All right, extra.
You always have to press enter, and then it registers.
Yep.
Keep forgetting that.
Okay, so I'm going to say, let's see, that would be 6 points of raw stress there in total.
I would like to spend 1 for penetration, and then let's just devastating if it gets through.
Well, so one, since we're going, yeah, I'll say basically 1 point would allow you to ignore resistance, so I would take 1 of the momentum that you have, Shira. You can also cause them a breach, if you like, with or
It's
a
up to you.
proper breach, that is. This is mostly
sorry.
just about the advantage, basically. So
I'm sorry, Craig. I'm just excited. This is a fun game.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's cause them a little breach, shall we?
All right. So, going off the NPC rules, I will just say that you know what? For this one in
How much
particular,
momentum was that?
that would be 2 to make it a devastating attack.
Okay, cool.
So, the plasma cannons manage to lance right through the deflector, concentrating heavily enough that they manage to cause explosions and disrupting the pulse. You likewise manage to rake along an area where the shields have partially collapsed, and plasma and atmosphere begins to shoot out as you damage their structure.
Hey, you know that truce you guys had? Well, no one informed Shira about it, so...
Well, we had to choose. You didn't.
Exactly. Yes. Will the pirates believe that, though? That
Well,
She rolls
currently
a
there's going to be chaos anyways, so...
Yeah, fair enough then. Yeah.
Who needs complications when the crew just creates one?
Yeah.
All
Good
right.
times.
Yeah, with that, Justice is just going to say, all right, I'm going to drop some additional power from the shuttle, and I'm going to take us through as quick as I can. Hold on, everybody. So that'll be Control plus Con, and...
Nice.
Yep. With that, the shuttle pod will fire up its impulse engines and begin zipping through the asteroid field towards the rendezvous point, dodging to and fro on the various bits of debris. The Alvean managed to just perfectly twist their on their axes, rolling with the shuttle pod. Tentacles occasionally undulating as you move out and about. It's strange that it seems as though there's no sort of visible method of propellant or engine that you would recognize. There almost seems not to be a logic to it. It's one of the great strange wonders of this area here. But the shuttle pod's impulse engines rocket you forward through the field. I'm going to say that it clears a significant distance. I'll even give you back a point of momentum from Chief Justice's successful roll there.
Yay.
To place you up to 4 momentum. You are clearing what you believe to be most of the field, but then as you round a larger asteroid, you see 2 raiders appear to be closing in on your location. They are coming from opposite sides and turning their bows to meet to basically catch you in a crossfire. It seems as though you are in a very difficult spot here. So, putting you back into combat for a moment, Justice will say, yeah, 2 of them will be approaching weapons range in about 45 seconds, Commander. Anything you want me to try and do about this?
Is there a denser part of the asteroid field we can get into and use as cover?
Well, I might be able to use I might be able to hug closer to the nearby asteroid, and we can use that to try and at least make it a little more difficult, but there isn't really a lot of cover besides us and our new friends here, he says, gesturing to the Alvan. Closing at 30 seconds now.
And evasive maneuvers might risk shaking off the album thing.
You're right here, sir.
I want to use my advantage now, GM, as she just, from back in the bridge, she says, now, send the signal. And I also want to use 2 momentum for the second part of this thing, a little bit, is since we got the communications of the pirates, is to jam their signals to make it more chaotic.
I will allow that and basically say that Creighton has managed to preemptively jam the frequencies. So, as you look ahead, it seems as the 2 of you are talking about how to evade, you see a 3rd signature. Justice momentarily looks like, torpedo, sir. It's not targeted at us, and that's going to hit one of the raiders. I'll go ahead and I will just roll some damage for the Aegis here to see how that does. So that's just...
Yeah, I'll reroll it. Spend 1. Let's roll it. We're down to 1.
Gotcha.
Wow, something.
Well, it's enough to prompt, allegations of team killing, or at least uncouth activity as the one of the raiders veers off and like the other two are thrown into confusion. It is at least enough of a gap, Shira, that you see that you should be able to punch through.
Wait for that gap, Justice.
Copy that, Commander. And with that, one more roll. Oh, no! Let's
No.
see. Well, you know what? Chief Justice, for him, staying cool under pressure is easy.
Isn't that his thing?
Yep.
He just adjusts
Yep,
his
he's using his
sunglasses.
value. We'll take the one. We'll take the normal 0. Why not?
Yep. Peter, you want to grab the shuttle pod one more time? Or Pete?
Yep, I can grab that.
Thank you. All right, 2 successes. Technically, weapons and security, but I think that the engines would have gotten that anyway. So,
Yeah.
the pod rockets forward and manages to round some of the round more of the asteroids. I think. Let's see. At this point, let's shift maps a little bit. Rounding the last bend, you find that the Aegis is not that big. Oh dear. Let's see here. Sorry.
No worries.
Just okay. Now we just need to make sure that the shuttle pod shows up because it apparently. Let's see. There we go. All right. Just flip them now. Okay. So, like zipping around from one of the asteroids, the small formation comes along. The shuttle pod at its center, and now dozens of these small cosmozoa wrapping around the Aegis, moving in strange, in very strange fashion. You've already backed up to an extent. If all goes to plan, the shuttle pod will overshoot you and basically allow you to either grapple or even just kind of catch them as you scoot back. From the bridge, all of you watch with rapt attention as the pod makes its way through. The ensign at helm turns to Captain and says, "Sir, I'm having a bit of trouble getting the proper navigational readout. There's a lot of EM interference coming from those entities surrounding the shuttle pod. I'm not sure I can line up the pod proper, the launch bay properly."
Hedge, Remora, can you help out with that? If not, we can grapple.
This is a piloting task, I should say.
Yeah, she looks over to Remora.
Oh, absolutely. Piloting, daring or control?
Well, I'll ask for that in a moment. First, I'll ask, tell me as the ensign steps aside there, tell me how Remora feels stepping behind the navigational console of this bigger ship that he's used to.
Oh, excited. This isn't a raider ship, so he's very excited to try something new.
Yep.
Think of this as your trial run, Remora. If you're interested.
Well, then I'll make it a good one. Or at least one to remember.
Make a one that can please your captain, she says.
You can just see everybody else tugging at their collar a little bit. Oh.
I like to invoke a value.
Yeah.
Go right ahead there, as I'm going to give you a difficulty 3 daring plus con task.
Go
I'm gonna auto crit, and I'm gonna use my value. Your story lives longer than death because everybody's watching me, and I have to make a really good impression.
I will accept that. All right. So, that will give you automatically 2 critical successes. This will also include So the ship will be able to help you with engines plus con.
And what are my attribute and discipline?
Daring plus con. So I think you had it right there just a moment ago.
I don't think any of my focuses apply.
I don't think so either.
Unless we're sneaking up on them.
Yep. No, they're very clear, and they are on everyone's mind as everyone looks to the.
You want to use a momentum?
I think we got the. Oh, we have 3.
Can
Yeah,
the
I'll use the
shuttle-
momentum.
Can the shuttle give like a silent running focus?
I'm going to say that I don't think the shuttle pod is assisting here. This is going to be all Aegis to help you thread the needle here.
That's fair.
But yes,
Nice.
with Crichton calling out, "Hey, shuttle pod closing to 10,000 meters, 9,000, 8,000 meters, or rather, no, 10,000 kilometers, 9,000, and kind of calling out as like the back, like over the back, and then finally, shuttle pod now at 1,000 meters, preparing to overshoot, and they're pulling it close, 500 meters. They're past and they're angling behind the shuttle bay. So, you want to give
Is
that
it possible?
order?
Could the Aegis assist here? Sorry.
Yes, Aegis can assist with engines plus con. Ooh, with 2 successes, that means you get
Nice.
back at the
Nice.
momentum there too.
You've been rolling really well as the ships.
I know, it's great. I should do it more often.
You are
You're
the
doing
ship
it.
now.
You're doing it more often now. You're part of the ship. You're doing the ship rolls.
Part of the ship, part of the
You're
crew.
part of the crew.
Become the ship.
But it's a Suliban!
Anyway. Well, they've got the look down, right? Anyway, so Captain, as the shuttle pod flies through that eye of the needle, do you want to give the order?
She'll just give like a gesture with her hand. Like, go ahead. Go.
All right. So yeah, with that,
Go, I go.
yep. With that, Remora, you reverse the engines, and as the docking bay opens, the shuttle pod lines up. You basically capture the pod as the Aegis reverses into it, and the shuttle pod closes inside. Quickly, Justice folds in the wings.
Can we deactivate whatever's attracting the space squids?
Yeah.
Because I figure going from a 0 pressure environment to a 1 atmosphere probably leaves them rather dead.
Yeah, you repel them at once as that happens, and like as you close the final distance, and they all scatter away. the shuttle pod collecting in, and with maneuvering thrusters, you manage to get them into position. There's now a few moments elapse as the shuttle pod is confirmed, but then Crichton says, we have them, sir."
All right. Keep. How far out of character? How far are we through the pirate gorge? Whatever.
You've backed up a little bit the corridor, but you are still in close range relative to at least some of the raiders.
Okay. She'll just nod and say, "Keep going. Let's just go. Let's just go with the herd. At least for another 500,000 kilometers. Once we have a solid path, once we're out most of the debris field, use the deflector to push the rest aside in one solid burst, and let's get out of here."
Just fly casual.
But not too casual.
I don't know how to fly casual.
Just guns it, just like
Just relax. Keep it at thrusters. Soft pulses. Let's just wait it out. Follow the herd.
No, as let's see. At this point, Crichton says, "There's a lot of comms chatter. Some of the raiders that are still in range are they're locking weapons, but they haven't yet fired. I think they might be trying to seek clarification now that we're retreating, sir."
Has my plan work? Actually, she'll just say, has the other pirate ship started attacking or responded to the initial betrayal?
Betrayal.
Some of them do appear to be, well, they're at least engaged in fairly aggressive maneuvers from what I can pick up here, but I haven't detected any other signs of weapons fire. There.
She'll just nod. Just keep it steady.
On the strength of the roll and with the rolls that you've taken to escape here, I'm going to say that by Guile you seem to have baffled them, and that you were able to steadily reduce yourself, or reverse course to a safer place where you can engage the impulse engines without any risk to back out of the station, or back out of the field.
Once we're out of the path, she'll just say, "Remora, set a course to the Arachne Nebula, War 4.
You got it.
Right. Remora, as you acquaint yourselves better with these systems and set the engines for that course, Crichton will turn over from the comms console. "Sir, I'm picking up another signal. I believe it is. It would be famous again."
Put it up on the screen. On visual.
Aye, sir. And as that goes up, let's see. Famous appears on the view screen ahead of you. The screen either zoomed in or he has stood up closer to the camera, but you are getting like a face full of scarred, angry Nausicaan.
Oh, too close, too close.
"You try to abscond with my herds, you kill my people, and now you try to escape the hostage right. What treachery is this?"
you have obviously shown by those attacks on your own crew that you have no regards for the treaty in itself.
We
Famous.
we have done nothing, and one ship was well away from the others. Only your shuttle crew would have been able to inflict damage to them.
You can lie as much as you like, but you have a very open and plain face. But thank you for the practice. My fresh crew needed a bit of a run to see whether or not they could handle threats, and they handled your lovely leadership fairly well.
Famously.
Know this. That so long as I live, and so long as my allegiances with the, so long as the Orions and I heed our mutual allegiances, the name of the ship Aegis will be known, and it shall be hunted. You shall not know a calm day in space. I swear it. He says, pointing towards you.
She just runs a finger through her throat towards Crichton, just to kill the signal.
Yep. He cuts the signal. At this point, navigation says, course and heading for Arachnid Nebula set.
Maximum warp.
Right.
Let's get out of here.
Remora, if you want to give me one more roll, that would be control plus con. Difficulty on this will just be 1. And
Do you set radar maximum warp, or do you bother to look what maximum warp is here?
Wait, this goes all the way up to 5?
it does not go up to 5 yet.
Oh,
That's
wow.
5.
5.
4.5. We at least are hitting 4.5.
That's rounded up to 5, essentially.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
all
well,
round
you know,
up.
that's
We
what
round
they
up.
say in
We
a lot
round
of
up.
RPG games round up.
Yep. Anyway, with all of that, you don't want me to round up on power consumption.
Only for players, not for GMs.
Yeah. So with that, control and con roll of 1, Remora, or with the difficulty of 1, that is. The ship may assist with engines plus con, and this will, since you are going up to warp 4, that will be all 4 points, or that will be 4 points of power. That is 3 successes from Remora, and then an additional 1 from Xantar. As a result, that is enough for you to. That is enough for you guys to make it to warp and earn back 3 points of momentum. Just checking the Starship talents list because you do have the improved warp core, as I understand it, or improved warp drive, which means that whenever the ship spends a point of power, roll 1 challenge die for each power spent. For each effect rolled, that point of power is not spent.
All right. If you don't mind.
Go right ahead.
Please do.
Nice. That,
Good.
while
this ship.
Yep.
I should be playing an engineer.
Yeah. As the engines get called up for some high warp runs down in the engine room. Let's see. Romanov, you and Rocco are, I would say, getting along famously. It says, I gotta admit, I like your engine here.
I do too.
I like some of your crew even better.
I'm sure you do.
Fuck.
She kind of looked suspiciously at the bike. I'm sure.
Concern.
Yep. And yeah, with that, the Aegis clearing the field goes to warp with a dramatic bit of music as some Nausicaan raiders start flying out of the field towards the exit, though they are well behind. So the Aegis has managed to escape the day, And I think with that, let's see. Since we started late, if any of you guys want a final scene to close out, then we could definitely do like something very shortly. I know, obviously, it is getting late for some of you, so I wouldn't want it to be too long. Either that, or we could cap off there. What do you guys think?
I'm fine with a final scene.
I like seeds.
Yeah, I'm good with
Seems
it.
are
Yeah,
good.
sure.
I could see one in one of the turbo lifts with the first officer and Romanov.
Yeah, a catch up. So a moment to catch up with the two of you. Let's see. Would you want to be like going up to the bridge, or like having something with a final moment, particularly now that you have new crew here involved?
Well, yeah, the moment I step in the elevator, I'm going to look at her and go, "We have a Suliban on board."
Okay,
Oh,
yeah.
was
Let me move things around. So it
I also like a one scene too, briefly, but after this.
okay. So we'll say Shira, pretty much as soon as you're able to get out of the shuttle pod, out of the gear and back to a uniform. No, despite I'm sure Xantar's insistence, no decon gel or
no
sprays.
decon. Xantar, we don't need the decon gel.
Are you sure? I'm sorry. It's very useful.
We have literally been inside
We
the
don't want to
shuttle
be
or our
infecting you
own
from this ship.
spacesuits.
And you
it's
never know what strange contaminants might have gotten on
been-
board.
been inside our own environmental suits.
You never know.
No. Anyway,
Yep.
I'm just go
Very
go
well,
go,
Commander.
go sit back.
Just
Cheryl-
quickly,
Shira's
quickly,
gonna get
just
on you.
as Shira like
Turbo
turns
lift.
around, you feel like a spray of the sanitizer on the back of your neck or something. And then when he turn around, like he's looking somewhere else, just like innocently, just like whistling.
Weirdly warm.
Oh, so Shira, you make
Ugh.
it back to the turbo lift. You go from the shuttle bay through the slight decon area, and get the spacesuit off. You cross over from the engineering hull back to from the star drive to the primary hull. You're making your way to the turbo lift, but as you're turning around and the door like mostly closes, it stops and reopens as a slightly breathless Romanov has caught up to you.
Oh hey.
Hey.
Better not come too close. I've been in a environmental suit for the past few hours. It's not pleasant. How are things here? I noticed that the pirates have been trying to do some redecorating of the exterior.
Yeah, we got one breach sealed. We're good enough, and to get out of here and get to somewhere we can get some help. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Right.
We've got a Suliban on board, right?
No. Oh, it's that Remora fellow.
Yes.
Yeah, one of the whalers we picked up.
One of the whalers. Trustable, or Suliban, right? Aren't they all?
I mean, the ones we met on Terra Nova were
That's true.
sort of trust. Well, I mean, they did
No,
literally.
that was a case of sort of trustworthy.
Sort of trust. Once trust had been established. Yeah, I think it. Yeah, he should be okay, I guess. I mean, it's a good thing we came across the whaling vessel. Where was that whaling vessel?
Right. Well, that's how all this stuff started. Just thought I would, make sure you knew.
Yeah. Well, as I'm sure the captain thinks that Suliban's fine. Anyway, it's not going to be my problem. Imagine as long as he does okay here. I mean, are we dropping them off somewhere?
I don't know.
No.
I don't
Okay.
know.
I'm going to say that the scene will probably, or at least unless you two want to exchange other very particular words, then we'll probably close off that scene with the two of you coming to the bridge. Sharp, did you?
Oh, no. I'll leave it in the other player's hand. Does he have anything else that he wants to cover before we wrap, or?
Yeah. Craig, do you think Cher would bring anything up as she and Romanov are just here in the turbolift? You're like at this point smelling quite a bit of Shira
Space.
after like time in a
Exercise.
Oh no!
Exercise.
I switched the button on the wall that increases the air circulation in the thing. What are you talking about? I'm an engineer. I'm like, click. I know how to counteract that.
Yeah. No, but it's probably been like a day, if like a day and a half.
That's true. Even then, that's hard to
really,
count.
really ripe.
It's a bit, a few hours in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, glad to see you're okay.
Yep.
After all that.
Vice versa. And okay, well then we made it out of this one. Apparently, with the curse of a famous pirate.
The pirates can't trust them.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's see then. Whilst all that is going, I had one other. Sharp, you were mentioning another scene.
Yeah, I would like a scene with Remora.
Okay. Conference room, ready room. What would you want? Brig?
No, not Brig. Let's go with
Airlock.
It's tempting, real tempting. No, let's just do ready room.
All right. So, some time, a bit of time passes. Justice is eventually able to return to his post, and Sharp, you are now getting things settled in as the scene, like as we change scenes. There's a slight vibration in the hull that reminds you that the engines are pushing high warp right now. As you move ever closer to the Arachnid Nebula, I imagine the ship is at condition yellow at present, keeping an eye on sensors for the various things that could be on their way to look for you. Let's see. With all that, you hear a chime at the door.
The captain is looking at the Arachnid Nebula and the star charts around the area, and sensor reports. Come in.
And Remora, you get to enter the scene.
That was awesome. Your ship's amazing.
It certainly is. Thank you. You did pretty well. Certainly, I was impressed.
I try. I love flying ships.
I'm sorry to say, but there might not be a few any habitable planets that I can reasonably drop you off on from here to the Arachnid Nebula. But certainly, I can do that after we are at least a little less pursued. But I could use some experience here, especially one that knows its way around in this location, if you're looking for it. Want something different besides piracy.
Piracy was an immediate solution at the time. I just kind of been sticking with it. But I'm definitely fine with a change of pace. And with the ship is your reputation, I couldn't find a better place to be at.
We'll have a bit of a trial run. And that isn't to say that I completely trust you at the current moment. But certainly with some time and proof that you can keep to the rules here, you and your friends, if they so desire, can find a place here. we're on a bit of a journey, and we're going to the farthest edges of, at least for humans, known space. Are you willing to take that up?
Absolutely.
Hmm.
There is something
Like-
you should know.
She stands up, like she's been like leaning over, been kind of just been more attentive. She hasn't been sitting down. She just kind of stands up straighter. Yes. What is it?
Although I am Suliban, I have zero affiliation with the Cabal. I am not augmented in any sort of way. I've never been a part of them. I've been firmly against them. So I'd really appreciate it if you would let the crew know that that is not who I am.
I respect that, and I'm sure there are many who will as well. But it's something that, even though I can say as such, and they will be ordered to believe as such, it's going to take a while for them to adjust to it. But
If needed, I will
I
submit
will.
to medical examination.
She shakes her head. That kind of stuff is a lot harder, as I'm sure you well know. But you're in a very welcoming and inclusive society here. Just give some time.
I will be patient.
I will let the heads know, and they will keep an eye on any prejudice that is going on, and it will be reported and dealt with firmly, just like everybody else. I don't tolerate it here.
Thank you.
I'll assign some quarters. You are currently a crewman. We'll see if we can bump that up as we go along. She just kind of like pauses and then raises her finger, looks around, digs through some drawers, pulls out a tablet, taps it. Here you go. While you're at it, if you really are involved or want to stay involved, you can look through this. She sets it down, and it's the United Earth manual, whatever, the manual for Starfleet regulations.
Like
Starfleet protocols.
Yeah,
Is this a rule book?
of sorts for Starfleet.
I'm assuming as long as I'm on the ship, I follow these rules.
She nods.
I think
And
I
you
can
listen.
handle that.
You listen to my first officer. You listen to me, and you listen to your department head, whichever one that is.
Which department were you thinking of putting me?
Well, Khan seems to be working well for you. If you want to be a pilot,
I will let you know I'm also fairly good in combat and ship's weapons, if needed.
I'll keep that in mind. She gives a slow nod with a small smile. Is there anything else, crewman?
I don't believe so. I'm ready for a new change of pace.
Good. How about the rest of your friends?
I can honestly say it's good for all of them. Rocco was probably on the fence, but since you put him in the engine room, I don't think he's going to leave the ship or the engine room. And Kesh will come around when he sees how nice everybody is. Kesh has been a part of the pirates longer than I have, and they have not treated him well.
I don't want to sound like a stereotype, but do I have to be concerned with
No,
Kesh?
no, Kesh is fully passive. He is a really nice guy. I haven't seen him go to combat at all. Like, even when I took out our captain, even though he argued, he never reached for his weapon.
Out of character, who's the Ithanite? Which one's the Ithanite? Rocco or Cash?
Kesh is he is a Uridian, not an Ithanite.
Uridian.
Yeah.
Uridian, yeah.
Also, might be good to wrap here soon. We're going just a
Yeah,
little.
yeah. No, we're pushing it, yeah. She'll just nod. You can give him the same spiel if need be, but since he seems like you're the leader of the two, of those two, but as long as they keep regulations, I won't have a problem, and neither will my crew.
I'll make sure they do.
She just nods. Dismissed.
Thank you.
All right. I think we'll go ahead and close things off now. So, for those of you joining us in the archive, thank you so much. We hope you enjoyed our current adventures. The crew uses Guile to escape their foes for now. We will be back live on Star Trek Adventures Aegis next weekend with a new adventure. Until then, we hope you will join us here for Broken Sword and for catching up on anything else you may have missed. If you need to go back to other parts, any link that you'd want to check to follow us would be in the description here. But we will go ahead and leave things off. So, have a good rest of your day.